Bay, you're finally here on time. Looks like you beat me. You beat me into the stream. Welcome to Morning Medley number 153. Good morning, Jamie. Good morning, Pixel Piggy. Stream as per usual. Stream as per usual. I hope you got good sleep. This song is called. Oh wait, Cyber isn't here. Never mind. This song is called Spring Street. reminds me of Triumphant Horn, says Jordan. Interesting. There are a few of my songs that have not been recorded that I hear horns in. One of them is actually the Witchy song. I'm now gonna play a medley of songs off of my EP Signals. I won't be playing any of the songs in their complete forms, just kind of like free form improvisational versions of them. Oh, hi, Eric. Good morning, Maddie, Diz, and Cybern. Google doesn't know what Vaporwave is. I told it to play some, and the first song it chose was Everybody Wants to Change the World by Tears for Fears. Get out of here. I've got one stubborn fly in here. I keep losing it. Depends on it. I guess you'd have to ask my neighbor. She's playing new wave music sets. Hello, Manny. Welcome. And Anbu? I hope I'm not mispronouncing that. This song's called Flight Plan. like the video. That helps me a lot. Thank you. Hope everybody's having a good morning so far. I forgot to prep bananas last night, so I couldn't make a smoothie this morning, so my morning could be better. But I'm doing okay, it is. Not for consistency's sake, Max. I would never put them directly in. are you doing? You healthy? That was a weird version of a reflection pool. Cyber says, when you're done with the medley, you guys want to remind you about the live show thing. Oh, Cyber, the reason that, because you said you should do like live show sets. The reason I don't do that is because it's very labor intensive. But, I was thinking about it. I mean, I've always been kind of like on the no side of that. But with things being currently the way they are, I mean, and I was looking at Daddy Mouse videos, because Daddy Mouse does that, and, I mean, he does it in a way that makes sense, so, maybe it's not unrealistic, it's just, I want things to be good, if that makes sense. I don't want to do it and have it not be good, and have it gradually get better over time, like the morning medleys have. I want it to just be good, and not consistent. I want it to be only like I only do it a few times. I don't do it unnecessarily. And so I'm rolling that around in my head, Cyber, the whole live set thing. Good morning, Sam. Welcome. Oh, thank you, Kit. I appreciate that. Boy, West Coast. Mini Ninja says, are you secretly getting jacked? Oh, I mean, if you're talking about my arms being like really veiny, I'm just like that. I'm just naturally a really veiny person. I mean, I do work out like every morning, but it's no secret. I talk about it in several streams, and I'm not getting jacked. I mean, I'm just maintaining whatever you're saying right now. This body is maintained with workout schedule, I guess. Jamie says, what a boring answer. Jesus Christ, I almost put myself to sleep on that one. Jamie says, this reminds me of the Ehi Omni process combo we had the last stream we were in. Which are you? Are you an Omni or are you an Ehi? Are you one turning into another? Heaven help me. Welcome, by the way, Mini Ninja. I don't see you in streams very often, so welcome. I hope you had a good weekend. Oh, well, I mean, it's Tuesday now, but since you weren't in yesterday's stream, I'm just going to go ahead and include Monday in your weekend, so I hope you had a good one. Just maintaining strength and not so much trying to bulk. Yeah, never trying to bulk. We're never trying to bulk here, Mini Ninja. Never trying to bulk. I'm just trying to stay in shape. It's not even necessarily just. I mean, the strength thing is important. You should try to maintain your strength, but yeah, definitely never trying to bulk. It's not a show. It's like important to be able to like protect yourself and also like take care of yourself. I mean, you should be able to like lift things around the house and stay in somewhat good shape. Eat stuff. I don't know. Eat stuff. I don't know. King Cake says it's raining really bad down in Florida, so I haven't been able to join due to the thunder. My neighbor's tree got struck by some lightning, and it's in my front yard. Oof. I'm sorry to hear that, King Cake. Stay safe out there. Don't let the lightning get you. Mochi says, good morning. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Good morning, Mochi. It's not wonderful, but it's okay. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I mean, you came in with some real strong positive energy, so I'm going to go ahead and assume your day is wonderful so far. Jamie says, I feel like I have more of an eggy style of creating, but trying to find a healthy balance of both styles personally. It's good. It's good to have the balance. Everything in moderation, right? I also stream. I do art stuff, says Mini Ninja. I draw stuff for my chat. Work up. You and me were the same. I'm going to play this next piece a few times throughout the stream because it's still in development, but I have a song now called Liminality, and I tried to play it a few times in the stream. I actually did a weird recomposition of it on the computer last night, but this is what the piano version of it sounds like. On Twitch. The chord sounds so much better with Rhodes. Hear this? Well, listen. Wait, hold on. I love how consistent and equal all the notes are when I play that chord in Rhodes piano sound. When I play it in piano sound, it like doesn't hit the same for me. Yeah, I like that. Beautiful. Anyways, that's Liminality so far. This one feels like sitting outside in the summer with a friend you haven't seen in a long time. Oh wow, very, very specific. Have I done this? Have I sat outside in the summer with a friend I haven't seen in a long time? No. No, I have not. Hmm. Maddie loves Rhodes. Have I played Maddie's song with Rhodes? Yeah, I have. This next song. Again, I'm gonna return to that piece a couple of times throughout the stream. Just a heads up, because it's still in development. I'm trying out weird, different other things. For example, the ending. Um, but right now, I'm going to go through a few people's songs. I played Kit James' Reflection Poll a little bit earlier. I also played Jumpin' Jaybird earlier, but Cyber's in here, and so I haven't played Over and Under. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Tommy. This shirt tell the time. This shirt is a piece of merch from Freeze Pop. If you know the band Freeze Pop, then the shirt makes sense. If you don't know the band Freeze Pop, they're like an 80s type synth pop, synthwave band. And so, yeah, I bought this shirt a very long time ago. Still fits though. Oh, I love that. There's this weird habit that I used to have of I think I did it on accident once. I'm talking a long time ago. I'm talking like 2015, where I would purposely end chord progressions or end songs on like a really like ugly chord. Um, I don't know. It sounded broken. I definitely ripped that from somebody. Like I was listening to a song and somebody else did that, and I was like, "Oh, I really like that. That's funny. It makes it sound like everything went broke." And I did that for I think like 5 or 6 songs, and then I stopped ending songs on chords altogether. I stopped ending songs on chords. I started ending songs on single notes. And the reason I started doing that is because when I play them live, it allows me to improv and reharmonize that one note into whatever the next song in the set list would be. But whatever, this is a lot of information that nobody asked for. Hello, Sam. Sam missed hanging out in the stream. We're all doing A-OK, or at least as okay as A-OK can be right now. But yeah, I think we're doing. This was a weird, like, I did this yesterday, and I know it's from something. And I couldn't figure out what it was from, so I ended up, the second phase, okay, so this is what the entire line was. Good morning, Liana. That was the chord progression. And then I ended up just completely taking off this for this first part. So, whatever that first part's from, I mean, I can't really say whatever it's from. The reason that I can't say that is because this chord progression, this chord progression is not from anything. Yes, it exists in things, but it's so basic and rudimentary in its composition that it's been in a lot of things. So Mini Ninja says it's in a game. Yeah, it's definitely in several games. It's in a lot of jazz songs also. I'm sure it's in a lot of movies. I don't know exactly where I subliminally maybe picked it up from first, but it is a thing that I hear a lot. And the same way that I hear like that chord progression. Which is like the basis for Easy Go. If you know my song Easy Go, the Quarantine song. Like those chords. I mean, I'm sure they're in a lot of things, but I don't know if they're from anything. If that makes sense at all. If the difference is clear. If it's not, I can explain further. But I feel like it's clear. I've heard that song before, but I don't really think it's from something, says Umbe. Yes, indeed. I was going to say these chords sound Bowen-ish. You know what's funny? You know what's really, really funny, Jamie? Oh, I'm so glad you said that. So, I was making a song. So, this, this, not analogy, this example I'm about to make doesn't really connect unless you've listened to Day Mouse, preferably quite a bit of Day Mouse's music. If you listen to any artist, whether it's me or it's Bowen or it's Day Mouse or it's Maxo or it's Ujiko/Snail's House, you listen to any artist, you will hear them use the same chords over and over. And this isn't like an indictment or anything. We all use the same chords over and over. But the cool thing about chord theory or even music theory, as somebody who doesn't know much about it, is that you can kind of learn the things that feel cool to you, the things that you like, and then you just use the heck out of them. It's almost like when I discovered what's the name of the, now I can't remember it, not paprika, but cayenne pepper. When I discovered cayenne pepper was kind of like a really easy way to make things spicier, like if you just like added it to the batter of the chicken, or you added it to your marinade, or you added it, like sometimes I'll take anyways, point is it makes things spicier. When I discovered it, it's like I use it on everything now. I put that stuff on everything. And I think music is the same way. Like, I'll happen upon something, and all of us will, or artists, I'm not going to limit it to music, even visual artists. You'll happen upon something, you're like, oh, that's really cool, and not only is that cool, but I identify with that. That's kind of my thing now. my thing, because you will have a specific type of taste. And so you kind of fold it into your sound, or you fold it into your style, or you fold it into your aesthetic, and then it becomes one of the building blocks that makes up you and your artistic identity, which is kind of cool. But this means that several musicians, now I'm getting a little bit more specific to music, even though take this and you can apply it to any art form. A lot of musicians will do a lot of the same melodic tricks or the same harmonic tricks in their music because one, they can do it, and two, they enjoy doing it. So it's like it's part of them now. I think when I listen to Bowen, because Jamie said those like sound like Bowen chords. I'm trying to remember the chords I was playing so I can hit them again. The like, I think you're talking about that. Those are the chords in a song that I'm making, and I think. Oh, hi Crow. By the way, I didn't see you in the stream. Um, I think that there's a lot of sorry, I'm like reading comments while I'm trying to think and talk. Um, I think that a lot of things inform your decisions musically. It's not just taste. It's a mixture of like taste, knowledge, sometimes physical ability. Like if you listen to my songs that I'm playing on the piano in the stream, a lot of them have a lot to do with how I physically approach the instrument of the piano. Which is, I've talked in past streams about how I musically try to infuse rhythm, bass, harmony, and melody, usually with just my two hands. I don't have too many songs that are just like a chord and then a melody. I don't have a lot of songs like that. Usually there's some form of rhythm going on and a bass line. And so when you listen to somebody like Bowen or you listen to somebody like Day Mouse, you'll hear the same things come up over and over and over again. And if you're somebody that enjoys that thing, it'll be very pleasant for you. If you're somebody that doesn't enjoy that thing, then the artist might seem like a bad artist or an unsavory or unfavorable artist. Now, the reason that I'm bringing this up is because sometimes it's hard to like break out of that box. You know, you gain more knowledge or you push yourself physically to another limit so you can like increase or widen your arsenal of things that you can use in a song. But I can hear specific things that I do a lot in my music for sure. But sometimes I'm blind to it or deaf to it, maybe is a better, more apt term. And somebody in the stream, I remember Dar was in the stream, and Dar brought a melodic thing that I do in several of my songs. Well, Dar brought it up in two of my songs. The first song being Over and Under. I'll play higher. That. Dar brought up that I also do that in Love Letters. Something like that. And it is kind of like a thing that I do a lot. So that, it is kind of a thing. Now, that is not at all rare or at all specific to me and a few other musicians. It's very, very widely popular, but because of the way I physically approach a piano, if I was on the computer clicking it out with a mouse, I would never do that. But because of the way my hand comfortably does like those little flicks, they're everywhere in my melodies. It's a lot of that. So, Dar brought that up, and since Dar brought that up, I can't unhear it or unsee it now when I'm playing it in other songs. Um, yes, a doodly do. A doodly do. It visually it makes sense. It's like a rock step. Oh my god, this analogy makes no sense if you don't salsa dance or swing dance. There's rock steps in swing. In fact, you can't not rock step in swing dance. I can make an argument that maybe you could salsa dance without rock stepping. If you don't know what a rock step is, it's kind of like a pivot back. It's like a pivot step. Think of it that way. You're going to go forward, but instead of just walking forward, you like step back on one foot to like build momentum to go. A rock step. Now, if I'm playing piano, I'll do it on one of the keys where you guys can clearly see. If I'm playing piano and I'm playing this note and I want to go up to this note, instead of just going, I'll usually go, which is kind of like a rock step. I go back to build momentum, play the original, and then go up to the higher note. Same thing with going down to a note. Instead of just going down, I go. I do that a lot. And yeah, since Star brought it up, it's everywhere in my music. Instead of just going, so I'll do it without rock steps. No. Sorry. That's really hard to play without the rock steps. That would be the intro of Good Morning Sky. That would be the intro of Winter Heart. Without them. It's really only 4 notes. The melody itself is only 4 notes. All the other stuff that I'm putting in there is filler. Hope that makes sense. Part of me does want to learn some form of dancing, but I've yet to choose a flavor that suits me. Obviously, I'm biased towards salsa, Tommy. There's a lot of like Groupons and stuff like that to take dance lessons. Of course, not really now, but there were and assumedly will be again. And I encourage you to pick one of those two, swing or salsa. Swing or salsa. Because there are a lot of different other forms of dance. There's like waltz, there's tango, there's a bunch of stuff. But if you learn one of those two, if you learn swing or salsa, think of them almost as like 2 building blocks for like 50 different dances. If you can salsa dance, it makes it a lot easier to learn, I would say, off the top of my head, 6 other dances. And if you learn how to swing dance, well, swing dancing does also have like a lot of other gateway things. They just happen to be different forms of swing dancing. But yeah, I would encourage you to start with one of those two, because even if you salsa dance, for example, Tommy, you learn how to salsa dance, and you're like, I don't really like this. This isn't for me. You will be able to learn a different dance that you may actually like a lot easier after having learned how to salsa dance. Same thing with swing dancing. Hope that helps. Yeah, Jamie, thank you for actually listening to the explanation. I know it was very, very long-winded. In Monster Hunter, if you can use the hammer, you can use a hunting horn. It's exactly like that, Tommy. There's prerequisites on this stuff. Salsa and swing are some of the most fun ones in my opinion, says Maddie. Okay. I could weigh in on this, but yeah, these are just opinions. I don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing, baby, says Jamie. I do like that song. I just don't like swing dancing very much. I like it in theory. Here's the thing. Because I learned swing and salsa at the same time, right? So I feel like I have a unique outlook on both of them. Because it's not like I learned one, got used to that one, and then tried to tack the other one on. I was learning them at the same time. And the thing that I noticed is swing, for me personally, and projecting a little bit here, swing felt more like you're just having a good time with your friends. Almost like horseplay. It's like child's play. It's like, ah, ha, 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 ha. Yeah, swing, 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 swing. And then salsa felt inherently more intimate. and sensual of a dance. There is absolutely no sensuality or sexual tension when swing dancing with some random stranger, in my experience. However, going to a salsa club and dancing with somebody, even if it was like super, super, whatever, it's just like super platonic, just like there's a lot going on in salsa dancing that is, it's a spicy dance. Umbe says, I dance, but I don't know what it's called when I dance. Wanted to look into classes. Or not. Yeah, maybe do that. Yeah, maybe you should do that. I recommend it. I'll be back later, y'all. If I don't see you guys later, have a good Taco Tuesday. Oh, word up, Cyber. Oh, it's Tuesday. That means I have pizza today. As the Lord mandated. Tuesday is $2 slice Tuesdays at Pizzanista, so I will be receiving my weekly bread. But anywho, yeah. I love salsa dancing. God, I love salsa dancing. I would say that salsa dancing did more for my confidence as a human being than anything ever. Thanks, Jamie. Jamie, where do you live again? I live in Texas. Where in Texas? Where in Texas? Not to get too specific, but like city. Give me a city. Oh, wow. Fort Worth, closer to Arlington. Do you know where Fort Stockton is by any chance, Jamie? By any chance, do you know? until just this moment. Oh, did you look it up? Well, when my band was on tour, we our RV broke down because we were touring in an RV. And we got stranded in Fort Stockton. And the funny thing about that is we didn't have a tour manager. We were like, why will we have one of those? Anyways, we got stranded in Fort Stockton. And the funny thing about it is, like, since we didn't have a tour manager, we were just like a bunch of dudes. And I think we were all like hoping that one of us would fix it, like figure it out, or I don't know, call the tow truck or something like that. Because we got towed to Fort Stockton because it was just the nearest town. We were on the interstate, and I remember like sleeping in the RV, waking up every morning in this really crappy, like nothing town, and just like walking around and exploring and eating at this place that said it was selling burritos, but the burritos were awful. It was so weird. It's a weird time, but I kind of like lived there for 3 days. Eventually, somebody helped us, but it was like it was bizarre to me because all the Western states, right? We're all so big. We're all so big. It's so rare. Like you can't really go up to somebody in New Hampshire and then mention a city in New Hampshire and be like, "Hey, have you ever heard of this place?" And they'll be like, "Yeah. My sister lives there." But it's like in Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Texas, California, Washington, Oregon, Colorado, etc. You can name like a whole city with a population of like hundreds of thousands of people, and somebody else in the state will be like, "Yeah, I've never heard of that." But Texas is like the king of just having whole cities that just don't. Saying they don't matter would be wildly disrespectful. So I'm not gonna say that, but just like wow, if they got wiped off the face of the planet, I don't even know if a news cycle would pick it up. I don't know. Anyways, Murphy's, California, says Sam. Murphy's, California. There's a place, a special place. Hold on, let me look this up because there's a place that I also got stranded. I've been stranded a lot, guys, but there's a place I got stranded. I think it's called Bernie, California. I think it's called Bernie, California. Hold on, I can't type that now because it just brings up Bernie Sanders. Bernie, California. Yeah, whoa, I found it. Yeah, the Twin Falls. Yeah, I got stranded in this place called Bernie, California. Burney. And wow, what an absolute nothing place. It's just absolutely nothing. They do have two. They have these things called the Twin Falls. Oh, they have these things called the Twin Falls, which is. I wish I could find those old videos. Anyways, not to alienate myself in my own morning stream. Anywho, everybody, Liana is here. Liana says, I don't know about San Luis Obispo. Oh, I didn't know about San Luis Obispo until I decided I wanted to go to college there. Wow. I didn't know about San Luis Obispo until I met somebody that said they were from there, and I laughed at them. This person was a musician, actually. I hope they're okay. Anyways, I also met somebody from San Juan Bautista, and I laughed at them as well. Just like really long city names are funny to me. I'm sorry. I got lost in Ardmore, Oklahoma once, and that was a time. I actually really like Oklahoma. I looked it up. Bernie really is just not a place. Yeah, it's trash. Oklahoma. I don't know if anybody in this stream has ever been to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I talk about it quite often. Tulsa, Oklahoma is... How do I describe that place? Because when I went, I briefly considered moving there, right? The cost of living is extremely low. There, I think that when I was in the town, I think I was like one of 3 black people in the entire city. But the cost of living was really low. Hanson lived there. We all remember and love Hanson, right? And the city had this really weird feel. It felt like Sesame Street, which I've idolized since I was a kid. I've always wanted to live in Sesame Street. Something about big buildings that weren't really that big, you know? Like their big downtown buildings are like 13 floors or something like that. And they're really small. The streets are really narrow, so you can just walk across the street. There's hardly any cars. Everything looks really pristine and new because it's just not used. And they have like a local park that they serve alcohol in because it's like a privately owned park and they show movies. Like when I was walking around, people were watching Back to the Future in the park, and I was just like, this feels fake. Like this whole area feels really fake. But my homie who lives there had like a really nice like high rise apartment with this like great view, and I think his rent was like $350 or something like that. And I was like, that doesn't even seem legal. Anyways, Jamie says I got some friends up there. No disrespect, says Maddie. But that's how I feel about the entire state of North Dakota. Drove through there once on a trip to New York, and it was just nothing. Yeah, screw both of the Dakotas. Sorry if there was something dope in the South one. I had to do something. What city are you guys talking about? New York? No, I was talking about Tulsa. Yeah, $350 for rent, Maddie. You heard me right. $350. $350 for rent. Also, I have a homie who I'm not gonna say their name because I don't want anybody, you know, to know who I know, but I have another music homie who lives in Erie, Pennsylvania, and he told me what his rent was, and LA is such a freaking joke. I feel like I'm being robbed every month. Anyways, he has really low rent, and he lives in Erie, Pennsylvania, which I understand. Erie, Pennsylvania, it's kind of a lot of nothing. Also, not really a lot of black people. Also, not a lot of fun things to do. Also, my ex lives there. So there's a lot of reasons why I shouldn't move to Erie, Pennsylvania. You know that music, homie. California rent is a joke. Indeed, Liana. It's a big old joke. A big, angry, thieving joke. Holy crap, everybody that comes in the stream kind of lives in... I mean, not everybody, but most of the people that come in the stream live in expensive cities. We have some Seattle people, we got some New York people, we got LA, we got Bay Area people. Jesus Christ. I don't know what it's like in Texas. But, I know Austin is very expensive, you know? Because I briefly considered also moving there. What an idiot I was. When I was considering moving to the outskirts of Minnesota or Oregon, I found out a studio apartment is $500. Yeah, that's wild. The things I could accomplish. Things being video games. I guess I would just buy more video games. Maybe I'd travel more. We all getting robbed, says Maddie. We are all getting robbed. Okay, I can't play that song again. Guys, oh my god, I'm very hungry. You know, you get your body used to something. Let's talk about acclimation. My body is so used to working out every morning that when I don't work out in the morning, my body feels like it's moving in slow motion. I feel like I'm like groggy or like I'm like greasy or something. I know that. I don't know if that's like TMI, but like I feel gross if I don't work out. Same thing with the smoothie. I always have a fruit smoothie while I'm doing the stream. And if I'm not eating fruit while I'm streaming, I feel like I'm starving. Like my body starts going into like this weird like it's horrible. This next song is called Where is Isidora? I feel like now because I really have something to tell her, I feel like she hasn't been in the stream for a really long time. But no matter. No matter. Play 78th to Downtown. I can't, Umbe. That's what I was gonna play, but that's Isidora's song. I can't play it if she's not in the stream. That's how it works. Umbe, you don't have a song. which it might be bad if I gave you this song because you don't come in the stream very often. I feel like if I gave you one, I would forget how to play it by the next time you came. Play Dark Rose as Washington Rake. Hi, Washington. What a beautiful name. Dark Rose? Boom, 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 boom. Boogada boom, boom, boom. Is that Dark Rose? I think that's not. Who do you play Witchy for? I play Witchy for myself, Crow. I play that for me. That one's just for old Omni. My song is Chaser, but I think you said you forgot how to play that. Okay, Umbe, hold on, because first, this guy asked me if I could play Cold. Can I play that one? Wait. No. Yeah, I can still play Cold. Why can I still play that song? I haven't played that song in like... Why can I still play that song? That's actually kind of weird. Should have been able to mess up on that or something. Oh my god, what a nightmare. Hold on. As years go by, I like more and more jazz chords, and I think it's because I'm getting older. Sky, that's funny. Yeah, Sky, when you lived with me, you didn't like bebop jazz at all. I think I think something happens, and I don't mean for this to offend anybody, ever, but it might. And if it does, I want to apologize. You'll like bebop eventually, Sky. If the I don't want this to offend anybody, but I think what happens, as far as jazz, let me not make this argument about jazz. Let me make this argument more so about boredom. I think that music, if you spend so much time making music, I think that a lot of people that don't make music, or even that make music part time, or that make music as a hobby or for fun, don't really understand how much time somebody like me or even Sky spends around and in music. It's so much time. And eventually, a thing that was so exciting, you know what used to be really exciting to me? That chord. And the reason that chord was exciting to me is because I didn't play chords that had 4 notes in them. When I first started playing chords, when I was playing piano, it was a lot of like 3-note chords. And so when I played my first chord that had 4 notes in it, I was like, whoa, how rich does it sound, baby? Wow, that's insane. Now this chord is like so boring, and it's boring to me because it's open. Now I still play this chord a lot. For example, this chord I play, it's technically the last chord in Gucci Gang, and the Gucci remix, but I take these notes and I transpose them down, so instead of playing it like this, I play it like this. And then even this chord eventually started getting boring to me. So I added a bass note that doesn't actually exist in the chord up here, going like that. And that to me sounds rich. But the point that I'm making is over time anything becomes really boring. And you have to like dig further to get something else that interests you. I feel like this is how I was listening to Daedalus. Daedalus' new album. If you don't know who Daedalus is like my like the closest thing I have in this particular beat scene to an OG because he just made a lot of the stuff that reached me sonically when I was like not even a musician yet. Like when I was a kid and was just looking at Adult Swim and hearing his music and going like, oh, this is cool. A lot of inspiration I took from him ended up coming out later. But the point is, if you listen to his most recent stuff, it has gone. His music has gone to a place that my brain isn't at yet. Please go listen. Even if you listen to just like one or two tracks. No, one track. Even if you just go listen to one track, listen to just one. It doesn't even matter which song you pick. Listen to one track off of Daedalus's new um, album called like "Wands That Will Be Broken" or something like that. You'll see it. It's his most recent release. Listen to one track, and you'll understand what I mean. Like homie really did, fly. And I feel like eventually that is, I mean, I feel like that's probably my eventuality, right? Like I started off making just like fun chiptune, and then I was like, oh, I want jazz chords, and then I want like orchestral stuff, and then I want to do weird time signatures, and I feel like eventually I'll probably end up being one of those people that's like recording like weird feedback loops in like my music will almost become atonal. I'm not particularly fond of that right now, but I feel like me from 7 years ago probably wouldn't listen to the music I'm making now and find it particularly fun. I'd be like, I mean, that's kind of cool, but then why did you like just let the drums drop out here and turn into like a weird ambient thing? I don't know. Anyways, how do you spell his name? Says Jamie, and Sky answers for me. Thank you. Yeah. Yes. Daedalus. Maddie says, not much, man. So I've got a headache, but it could be worse. How are you? Oh, they're talking. Oh. Yeah, Maddie said that they were feeling foggy earlier in the stream. It had me worried for a minute. But that is to say, I think that maybe liking jazz chords is just boredom. It's Sky. I think jazz chords are very interesting. They're very harmonically rich and complex, and I think that as we get older, not in age, not in years, but as older in experience, maybe we just want things that are maybe more complex. I think that my palate, nutritionally, like the things that I eat, are more complex now than they were when I was a kid. They're still not as complex as they probably should be, considering I'm an adult, and I still don't like eggplant and stuff like that. But everything in its time. Jazz was kind of like the end game of all music. I can see where you're coming from, Umbe, with that. I feel like the end game. I feel like the goal pole has been moved, though. I feel like when John Coltrane came out with Ascension, and it was like free jazz, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, how could it get any weirder and more outlandish than this?" I feel like we have that now. I feel like we definitely have music that's more outlandish than John Coltrane's free jazz, just because technology now even allows us to make weirder noises than you could with traditional acoustic instruments. But yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna get there necessarily. I'm really worried about my dog, says Leona. We took him to the vet. Oh, did you say that things seemed like they were getting better though yesterday? Now I feel bad. This new Daedalus is yeah, from the third. Yeah, right, Sky. It's some of it's really really dope, but I'll be completely honest. Some of it is it's. I feel like my brain's too small for it. Heavens. Yeah, Liana's having dog issues. This next song is called Double Let's, which is Liana's song. Liana named it. It is deep, deep, Mance. Easy Doors here. Word. Door. Hey, Easy Door, guess what? Oh, thanks, guy. I think um, I think Double Let's probably has at least 5 different versions now. But yes, that is Liana's song, and also Liana again. I hope everything ends up being okay with your dog. This sounds like Final Fantasy I've ever considered making video game music. I like that comment. Yo, sometimes, I mean, I know, this is a joke. This is a joke with me and Sky, but like, um, sometimes when people, and I've said this before, but sometimes when people say like my music sounds like Final Fantasy, they're like, yo, this sounds like video games, bro. I honestly want to go like, yo, what video game? What video game? Tell me what video game, please. Because like all the people that said that my music sounded like Animal Crossing, I finally did listen to the music from Animal Crossing, by the way. I don't hear it. I gotta tell you, honest Abe. I listen to the music. It doesn't sound like my music. It does sound like somebody's music who I'm not going to name, but it doesn't sound like mine. Who are these people? Freaking broken ears. Anywho, there was something that I was gonna get. Oh, Easy Door, Easy Door. Guess what? Oh right, I forgot. I forgot that since Easy Door is here, I can play 78 Downtown. Hold on 1 second, Mance. Yeah, it doesn't sound like my music. It doesn't sound like my music. Um, which song is this, Mance? Which is this? says Mance. Kit confirms it's dimmer switch. Somebody want a dark rose? Oh, I can't remember what a dark rose sounds like. What is that? What song is that? Is that Dark Rose Mance? Oh God. Okay, today was feeling super sad, and I think the stormy cold weather is not helping at all. Says Easy Dora. Easy Dora. I finally watched that movie. I watched City of God. Hey guys, Easy Dora's been recommending that I watch a movie for 2 years now, and I keep telling her I was gonna watch it. And at a certain point, I'll be honest, it was looking grim. It was looking like I wasn't gonna do it because I mean 2 years is a long time. Anyways, it's really hard to watch. Not because it's a bad movie, but it's hard to find. I had to rent it from Amazon for like $3.99, $4. But I feel like it was $4 well spent. It was a very good movie, Easy Dora. I would say it was an amazing movie. I would say I feel bad for having not watched it for so long. Thank you for recommending that. Why did I make that song? Um, yeah. It only took me 2 years. So if you guys have any movie recommendations for me, if there's anything that you guys will want me to see in 2022 that you're pretty confident will still be available to rent in 2022, I would love to hear your recommendations. I don't know what I'm going to be doing then, but I know that I'll probably have enough time to watch the movie. Um, so you can send those recommendations now. Hey, the tacos was good. Amen, says Cyber. Adding a little bit of religion to the stream. Amen. And God said, I don't know what God said. I finally catch the live. Hey, you! I saw that. I saw you comment on something else that you missed the live. That you like slept in and missed the live. So I'm glad that you caught this one. You're an hour and a half behind, but we're still live. So good on you. You made it. Why you no stream on Twitch? Me? I don't know. I don't like Twitch. I don't know. I like YouTube for some reason. I don't know why. I like YouTube a lot. I don't know why I don't like Twitch. I don't. It's weird. I have to look within. There are a lot of things in this world that I don't like, and I don't know why I don't like them. If that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know why I don't like them, but Twitch is one of those things. Another one of those things is chicken fried steak. Like it ingredients wise, it's fine. It's things that I eat, but like I just get it away from me. I don't know. You don't want to be an e-girl, says guy? Nah. I would like to get an e-girl check. E-girls are eating. They're eating. I gotta fix my Instagram. I don't know, discover whatever you call that, because all it is e-girls. And it's very scary. It makes me afraid of Instagram. YouTube can be stinky sometimes, but it's all we got. I'm super happy, Dominic. Thank you for watching. No, thank you for recommending it, and I apologize it took me so long. Crow says I'm an e-boy. Goodbye, Kid James. Goodbye, Kid James. I'm sorry you had to see that. I hope to see you in a future stream. I don't know that I'm an e-boy. Crow. I don't think I am. I don't think I am, but you would know better than me, I suppose. I don't really know what makes an e-boy, if I'm being honest. It's still all e-girls, yes, yes, Sky. It's all the greasy e-girls. I was thinking the other day about fan profiles. This can be a little this can get a little dodgy because this video gets saved, right? But it's a video 153. I doubt anybody's gonna come and look at this specific one, so I'm just gonna say what I'm gonna say. There is such thing as like a fan profile. A lot of people don't want to believe that that's true. They're like, oh, my fan base is so multicultural, and it's like, yeah, sure. I'm sure like there are a lot of insert person in your fan group, but you know your audience. That's the thing. And I feel like even though that my audience is pretty diverse, right? It's like, oh, little kids, oh, like full-grown adults, like freaking cosplay people. Over here, there's like, I don't know, a Navy veteran or something. I don't know. But there is kind of like a general majority. Let's call it that. There's a general majority in every audience. There's a general majority amongst the Fast and Furious fans. I don't feel like I fit that particularly, but I do like Fast and the Furious, and I can agree that the fans do have a certain look and feel to them. They have kind of a certain look and feel to them. Even if somebody was like, nerds, you guys like your Marvel Endgame or whatever, I would argue that even though Endgame or the Marvel Cinematic Universe has a very wide fan base, there is kind of a majority. There's a majority there of what they look and feel like. I'm gonna keep using look and feel. Hello, whoa, Deborah Callis. I feel like I haven't seen you in a stream in a long time. Either that, or you've just been very quiet in them. How do I find out what my fans are like? Play shows. I found out what my fans are like over years of exhausting research. No, I just existed in my career, playing shows, going on tour, going out on the street, and somebody coming up to me and going like, "Hey, you're that dude, right?" And just seeing that the dudes that go, "Hey, you're that dude, right?" tend to kind of, there's a trend. There's a trend, and I won't necessarily say what that is. I'm not gonna say what my typical, stereotypical audience is, but I will say it's never, ever, once been an e-girl. I've never like gone to an e-girl's page and they were like bumping my music. I've never been stopped in public by an e-girl by like, like, oh my god, is it you? No, never. I don't know what e-girls listen to. I don't know. Actually, I do. I do know what e-girls listen to. Never mind. Act like I didn't say that. I know exactly what they listen to. And since I know what they listen to, I know why they don't listen to me. In any big numbers, anyway. Glad we had time to post some songs on my SoundCloud, said Deborah Callis. Oh. Well, I'm glad too. I don't like Heroes movies, says Deb. I have work to do. Yo, these comments are hilarious. Sorry. They listen to lo-fi, says Umbe. Sometimes, but there's a specific thing that they like even more than lo-fi. E-girls do love Halsey though. They consume Halsey. They consume that. Maddie says, I've got one fan and it has 3 speeds, low, medium, high, and it sits on my windowsill. It works. If I hit 2 or 3, it just doesn't come on. It only has the slow speed, which, no big deal. E-girls listen to sad boy music like Joji or Marshmello. Oh my god. I'm not gonna dissect that comment. We're gonna just take that at face value. E-girls be on TikTok. This is true. E-girls listen to Bon Bon. You're tempting me. Leanna. What is an e-girl? I'm too old some pictures, Easy Door? All I have to do is click the magnifying glass thing or whatever, like the search thing on Instagram, and then just screenshot my entire screen. And it'll give you a very, very rich gallery of what an e-girl is. Don't get me started on Joji, because I don't want to talk about him. I'm learning so much today about e-folks, says Jamie. E-girls listen to Poppy. Yes, they do, Crow. Yes, they do. I am Poppy. Why is that funny to me? Oh my goodness gracious. Ooh, that was beautiful. It sounded like an intro to a Reba episode. Anybody remember Reba? Maybe a sadder episode, huh? Does anyone here have a new Apple laptop? I do not, but maybe somebody else does. I'm gonna be honest, says Maddie. I think I have a lot of the traits of an e-girl, but I'm not full E. See, good, Sky. It's good. Forget both of those things. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have the traits of an e-girl. Traits. I think that I have, for example, nah, I don't want to get into it. Point is, I don't really have an e-girl fan base. E-girls don't really like whatever this is. And that's okay. Jesus Christ. That emoji is so offensive to me. That emoji, I don't know if it's just the way it looks on YouTube. That is so offensive to me. That is frustrating. That's infuriating. I don't get an e-girl vibe from you, says Cyber to Maddie. I think that, I love that chord. That sounds so cool from a guitar sound. I mean, I like it in a road sound too, though. Beautiful. I think, I don't have a sufficient amount of experience with e-girl. E-girl exists in a place that I don't, if that makes sense. They're at shows I would never be at. They're on tours I would never perform at. They're eating at restaurants I don't particularly like. They're shopping at stores for clothes that I don't go to. They're dating people I don't like. There's not a lot of overlap between me and the typical e-girl population. There does happen to be a lot of crossover between me and the ABG population, which has not led to very happy days for me. I'm not going to dig into that at all. The e-girls I've met were really weird, says Neobo. I'm not trying to offend anyone. What a very inoffensive... I mean, that's a very fine thing to say, Neobo. And what a nice way to cover your tracks. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I don't think anyone is offended, but, you know, I appreciate you for being so nice. Yeah, I think... I don't have enough experience with them. There are so many slightly shady jokes I want to make that I'm not going to. That's good. At least we know. I never understood e-people, but they can be them. They can be them is really funny. Arm veins says, yeah. I'm a very vascular person. I have arm veins. It's in my blood. No, it really is though. My mom also has very veiny arms, and like a lot of my uncles do. I think my dad also does. I don't know. Don't apologize though, Jake. It's okay. E-girls are somewhat bratty, says, uh-oh. Okay, so Cyber says e-girls are somewhat bratty. They're always taking pictures of themselves and going somewhere, but not actually going anywhere. 3 usual weird fits and always dying. It's kind of a vibe. Woo. Jazz is life. Not gonna lie, says somebody trying to pull the conversation away from e-girls, which I appreciate. I think I've been lumped into some groups, right, that I don't particularly belong in. I think that there's kind of like there was a wave of SoundCloud DJ. That was like a thing. Where it was like usually a white guy because, it was a white guy. And like, wearing like a long sleeve black shirt with a bunch of like Japanese, kanji on it. And a bunch of other like logos that were stolen from something. Like maybe it's like the McDonald's logo upside down or something because graphic design, I don't know. But black jeans, black skinny jeans, shoes that were prohibitively expensive, um, maybe long hair up top, not much hair on the sides of your head. There is a stereotype, and I can see it. I can see it because I've known several of them. I've written music for some of them, and I know that it's a stereotype. But oftentimes, because I also had a SoundCloud account, and I would tour, I would get lumped into like, oh, SoundCloud DJ, and it was like sometimes it was like kind of like annoying because I was like, oh, that's not really me, but I can see why you're doing that. Everyone was Porter for 5 years. A lot of people are still trying to be what Porter was a long time ago. I'll never quite understand. I'll never quite understand that. I'll move on. I'll move on because I don't want to rest there either. But the affinity people have for Porter Robinson is always pretty bonkers to me. I guess the affinity people have for almost anyone, but no, that's not true. That's not true. When people like praise like Prince in the streets, I get it. When people are like, "Yo, David Bowie, he really did the thing," I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, bro. He did the thing." Hall and Oates, when people are like, "Yo, Hall and Oates, these were geniuses," I'm like, you can't be wrong. You just can't be wrong. These tunes don't lie. But, anyways, I'm the only one who gets annoyed when kanji is just randomly slapped on a t-shirt. You're not the only one that gets annoyed at that. A lot of us here in 2020 in Los Angeles get annoyed at that. But I'm aware that I live in a little bit of a bubble on my own, right? Where cultural appropriation is kind of like a faux pas now. But that memo didn't reach a lot of people, so I know there's a lot of people that still like that. I'm getting a lot of bots in my SoundCloud, says someone, says Deb. Oh, yeah, well, I believe that. I believe that. I'm curious what you have to say about Porter, says Jamie. I have very little to say about Porter, but totally understand not wanting to say stuff. Yeah. I think that if I'm going to describe it as a problem, I really enjoyed seeing random English words on t-shirts, though. Interesting, Mbe. Yeah, that's kind of like a funny double standard, right, that we have in America. Because I actually do. Well, maybe I don't like it, but I think it's funny. I don't think it's good. I think it's just hilarious because I like saying bad English. Seeing bad English or poor grammar makes me laugh because it's inherently wrong. Sometimes things just being wrong but harmless can only be funny. Whoa. Yeah. Something being incorrect but being harmless just translates as comedy in my brain. And so, yeah, that's why I like seeing like foreign t-shirts that have like bad English on them. Somehow, the other way around, like it's not fun or funny to me. It's just like weird. Yeah, isn't that funny? This guy makes a good point. It's just about a look. Japanese use of crosses. I don't care who uses crosses anymore. At this point, like, crosses have... Uh-oh. I almost said something bad. No, I'll say it to me personally. To me, personally, crosses have lost all meaning. I don't mean that to offend anybody, maybe who's religious in this stream. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying, for me personally, I've seen crosses on so many things, whether it's like an anime, or it's a video game, it's upside down here, it's sideways here, it's in a logo, it's on, like, high fashion things, where it's just like, yo... It's now just a lowercase t to me. Like, a lot of its significance has been kind of watered down for me personally through oversaturation. Can you play Right on Time? That would be kind of cool. I wish I could. I love that song. Oh, I do love that song. Oh, now I'm remembering things. Okay. I was the whole thing about Porter. I'm gonna not make this because Jamie said that they were curious about the Porter thing. I'm gonna not make this about Porter Robinson. I'm gonna make this about. This actually kind of is. I'm gonna make this about the music industry as a whole and the way it operates. I think there's this thing. No, let me not make it specific. Even that specific. Let me make this about the art industry, the art world, on a whole. Do I know any Ghibli tunes as somebody? I do not. I know a lot of original songs, but none of those would be original. Those would be somebody else's songs. I feel like in the grand scheme of like the music industry, we're not very good at being honest with ourselves. And when I say we, I mean everybody. I mean musicians, I mean fans of those musicians, I mean booking agents, I mean managers. Everybody in this chat, this applies to you too. We're not very honest to me. Not very good at being honest with myself. Sometimes I'm trying to be a little bit better about that in more recent years. One of the two chords you just did was Easy Go. Yes. That's funny, huh? We're not good at being honest with ourselves about how little it has to do with music, right? I'll do my best. Is it Hala? Jala? Malcolm? Malcolm, I'll do my best. However, I'm not releasing any music right now. I said that maybe when I finish the Quarantunes, I would compile them and release them as an album or something like that, or a mixtape on Spotify, but no news on that at the moment. Boogie agents. But not really good at being honest with ourselves about how little it has to do with music. Somebody will say, I really like X artist because, oh, their music is so good. But we all, when I say we all, I'm giving you guys a lot of the benefit of the doubt when I say that. We all kind of know that if that same music, in a lot of cases, came from a different person, the same love would not be received. Right? There's a garbage truck coming, so bear with me. It's going to get a little noisy for a second. Yeah, oh my goodness, he's really going for it, huh? We know that it wouldn't be the same, there wouldn't be the same amount of love or whatever coming from another artist. Now, the reason that I say that is because a lot of this applies to Porter Robinson the same way it applies to Chainsmokers, the same way it applies to what's homie's name? Freaking Super Weird, Did Come to Daddy, Aphex Twin. Like, a lot of these things don't really apply. Elenium being a good point. Kid being another good example. When you're in an art industry, you learn gradually that, let's say any of you, let's say it's Maddie or it's any of you and you're an artist and you're joining an art industry, I think a lot of people forget that industry is roughly 80 to 90% of the art industry. Art is a small piece of the art industry, and the industry is the big majority chunk. And so the reason that I bring that up is because you can't simply make a good song and be successful. It just doesn't, unfortunately, work that way. And the way it instead works is there's a lot of kind of like outside factors and outside things that come into play. I'm gonna close my window really quick. There's a lot of outside things that come into play, and whenever I see those outside things, kind of like, for example, if you'll pardon the analogy because I know this is really sensitive to me specifically, But something that's happening with the cops right now, it can be very easy to see a cop do something really wild, like do drive-by macings of protesters, or slashing people's tires that are at the protest, or doing whatever they're doing. They're doing some awful stuff. It'd be very easy to look at that specific officer and be like, "You freaking Sergeant David, screw this guy. Let's try to chop his legs off or something." But the problem is that it's even allowed to happen, right? It's not necessarily. I'm not saying that the specific cop and name is blameless, but I'm saying that getting rid of that one cop does not fix the problem. The problem will just keep producing more of this cop, and so you have to kind of go a little bit higher up. Now, the same thing would happen with an artist. So to not make this too personal, I'm just going to use fake artist names. So like if you have an artist name Spanky, remember Spanky from my analogy about somebody writing my music for me? If you have an artist named Spanky, let's say that Spanky makes really, really dope music, and he's super, super talented, and he's been doing it for a really long time. And then you have another artist whose name is Walter. Walter loves Spanky music. Oh, I love Spanky tunes. And then Walter makes a Spanky song, and everybody goes, "Well, Walter's amazing. We've never heard this before. Where is this from?" And they praise Walter for it. Meanwhile, Spanky gets no love. And I think it has nothing to do with the music. Somebody could make the argument, if they were a big Walter fan, they would say, "Well, that's because Walter's music's better than Spanky's music." It's just true. It's just true. But it's because it doesn't actually have anything to do with the song. They just like this Walter person. They like them because they're like cute and white, or because they're, I don't know, funny and charismatic, or they like them because they are wearing Beats headphones, or there's like a lot of reasons that actually have nothing to do with the music why these people are liked. And I think that if I was to get upset, Deb says they love my song Not on My Watch featuring me, Bless them. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I think the problem in music is sometimes it'll seem like I'm being frustrated, or I'm frustrated with an artist or with a fan base, but my frustration really is directed at the whole system that allows certain things to work. Oh man, this is so hard because there's so many very specific personal examples that I want to talk about, but I can't because you know who these people are. But I will say that there's a lot of people in my circle of like friends and producers who have both been stolen from, like they've had art just straight up ripped off from them by somebody bigger, or there's been examples where they have themselves stolen or ripped off somebody else. There's been a lot of times in my personal career when I've written a song for somebody and had that song do better than it would if I had released it myself. And not because the song would have sounded better from their SoundCloud than it did mine, but because there was outside factors where people just didn't want to hear that music from me. Something interesting to think about. And so the affinity for, and now I'll make it personal again, the affinity for Porter Robinson, the reason that it's always like kind of weird and it hits me in a strange place is because Porter Robinson's music, every type of music he's created, existed very, very heavily before he made it by a lot of people that were around my size and smaller. And then he would get on it. He would like be like, "Oh, I really like these acts," and he would kind of dig, and I appreciate him for like digging. He'll like dig in the crates and find some like real indie stuff, and then he'll just make that on his platform, and then all the indie people that he listens to, in order to get that inspiration, are no better off. If anything, they might be worse off because people might just be like, "Oh, you're just ripping off Porter Robinson now." It's kind of weird. It's weird to me. Like early Porter Robinson with like the Complextro stuff, that stuff, was pretty derivative. And then like, even with the Worlds thing, like freaking Vocaloid, these weren't new things. And then like with the Virtual Self thing, like basically just making Bimani music. It's like, we have Bimani artists, we have like DDR music from like 10 years ago. Like I've heard this. It's just, and again, this isn't to take anything away from Porter Robinson. Not saying, I mean, we're all derivative in some way as artists. We're all taking from something. I have a lot of songs that are very bossa nova in flavor, which somebody could say, "Oh, you listen to Babel Garibaldi." I butchered her name. I'm so sorry, Babel. Somebody could be like, "Oh, you listened to bossa nova in high school, and now you're making it." Um, but it's not the same because people aren't accrediting me for making bossa nova, and if they are, they're stupid, and I mean that with love. But if you're accrediting like Nintendo for inventing the bossa nova rhythm, you are just wildly uneducated. If you think this sounds like freaking Wii Shop music and not Brazilian like jazz, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for you. Andrew Acker. Hey, I remember you. Okay, Andrew says 90% of success directly correlates with marketing. Good marketing is subpar products will lead to a more successful product. Worse marketing of superior products will lead to a subpar public opinion. I agree with this, Andrew. You've I mean contextualized and maybe better and more sufficiently or succinctly worded like my whole analogy, which is that a lot of times it's not really about the thing. Music industry isn't really about music so much. The food industry isn't really about good food so much. It's more so about, public perception of the thing. And sometimes that can be upsetting as somebody who makes the thing, because if I spend all the time making a perfect song, yeah, to be fair, if I spend a lot of time making a great song, there is always kind of this thing in the back of my head where it's like, my fans are going to like this and they'll appreciate it, but if X did the same thing, people will be like, oh my god, this is changing the game. The world will never be the same. People are like crying buckets of tears because I don't know. Okay, Daniel Dubular is back. Could it be that it's because a Western artist is borrowing from an Eastern music scene? Yeah. I mean, I think this happens a lot. East borrowing from West, West borrowing from East. I think that happens a lot, but I don't know if that particular um, piece of information is like pertinent to what I'm talking about. I'm just saying that. I'm saying what the person above said. Andrew said, kind of. I'm learning the classic bossa nova guitar skill. Word up, Deb. I appreciate this. Bossa nova is dope, says Isidore. Of course, absolutely. Um, Jao Gilberto, yes, I know, I'm killing it. I'm like killing it as far as butchering his name. Um, please bear with me. What a legend though. Yo, can you play Spring Street? Sorry if I'm annoying with requests. You're not annoying at all. I actually opened the stream with Spring Street, but you did show up pretty late, so I'll play it again. A great example, says Andrew, is Bing is a way more advanced search engine than Google. It is less advertising and will give more relevant results. But Google is a verb. That means yeah, absolutely. I feel this. How do you compete with that? You can't. You can't. I had a whole talk about that. Like when like a product becomes when a brand becomes the product, like Kleenex, like became tissues. Like people were even calling things that weren't Kleenexes Kleenex. Oh man. When I started working on In Your Name stuff, I thought if I made it, really produced it, would be successful because of algorithms, and I didn't know how it worked. Indeed, Sam. Yeah, a big friend of mine was making a pretty new sound in EDM and then suddenly saw a substantially bigger artist post about using that sound and everyone hopped on that train. Yes, Sky. And he felt defeated that it made it him and not make the music. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this crap happens. It's just like really upsetting. And I think that that's where my frustration, I admit that my frustration is usually in the past has been misplaced on the artist, right? I had a lot of aggression towards Lido because a lot of people had credited Lido for like Jersey Club, like making Jersey Club. I'm like, homie's like a freaking white dude from Scandinavia. Like, I don't want to hear Jersey Club from him. That doesn't even make sense. But my frustrations, instead of being placed on him, should have been more so placed on a system that allows that to occur. Yeah. So yeah, I don't want anybody to feel like I hate any particular artist. There are some artists that I really, truly, honestly do not like, but like Pogo, for example. But I don't want anybody to think that like I don't like personally Porter Robinson. I think that sometimes Porter Robinson is like a sore spot for me because he represents a thing in the music industry that I'm not particularly fond of, but he's not personally responsible for it at all. I can't use anything other than Google. The different UIs annoy me too much, says Joe. Oh, word up. I got tired of seeing ads for everything I Google, so I stopped using it for the most part. Oh. Good on you, Ava. Better than most of us. I'm just working at it at whatever pace I feel like for the sake of the songs and not how well it does for myself. I feel you, Sam. I'm there with you. All the same with animation and art industry. It is so hard to be different now. I believe that. Hello, Isha. Welcome to the stream. I asked Google because it's compatible with everything that I'm. I mean, I Google because I literally have a Google phone. I'm streaming from a Google Pixel right now. It's unfortunately just too. Come on, guys. It's like embedded too much into my daily life. Unfortunately, I'm trapped. It's not too late for you guys. Okay. Which Pixel do you have? I have two Pixels actually. I have the Pixel 2 and I have the Pixel 3A. Or the 2 XL and the 3A. So I'm a little bit behind. I don't really buy phones very often. I can't remember who requested this. But this is Spring Street. Oh. Never mind, there they are. Yeah, the garbage trucks here grow. I've never really bought a proper phone, says Jamie. But I've been getting into the Google Home products, and I thought maybe a Pixel would be better for me. Oh. Nice, Cyber. I haven't caught up with that story, so that's good news. Have a good day at work, Sky. Thought about getting a 3A since it's not too expensive. Yeah, that's why I got it. Like schoolwork, you mean, Malcolm? What do you think about Synthwave, says Needle? I like some of it. Some of it I don't like. It's hard to say how I feel about an entire genre because I've never heard a genre that I just didn't like any of. Um, I feel the same way about all genres. Some songs are good in it, and some other ones just don't connect with me as much. That song's called Spring Street. I'm not normally playing it with Rhodes piano sound, but I played it with piano already. Mm. Schoolwork. Okay, so I used to get this question a lot, except it didn't have anything to do with schoolwork. It was usually just work. You know, people were like, "How do you balance music and having like a full time job?" Now, I don't know how long you've been going to school. How do I say your name? Is it Jala or Hala or Yala? Because I would like to refer to you by your first name, but I don't want to. I don't want to be wrong. Good old Rhodes is Jamie. Good old Rhodes. It's Jayla. I was wrong in every way. Every guess was wrong. Thank you, by the way. Okay, so Jayla. It's a pretty name. I have a cousin named Shayla. By the way, I know that's so unimportant, but it has nothing to do with anything. That's not your name. Anyways, Jayla. So I don't know how long you've been going to school, and I don't know how long you've been working. But when I was 15, I got a job at grocery store as a bag boy. And you know, they said it was a bag boy, but I was also actually stocking and facing and sweeping the floor and getting the cart. So really, I was like the general custodian. I'm not going to get into the specifics about this job, but I did work this job for a while. And I did this while going to high school. Eventually, I ended up bumping my hours up to be full time. Um, and then I had a full time job and high school. And then I quit that job and I started working at Walgreens, which was a pharmacy. And I had a full time job working at Walgreens. I had a full time job at Walgreens while going to college. Quit that job and started doing caregiving in an assisted living facility. Was doing that full time while going to college. And I had a band. So the thing is, I think in my personal life, I have enough time in my life to do two things very seriously, right? Like, and I'm talking from me, my personal life. I can do like two things very hard, and then I can kind of throw in a third thing, but the third thing's gonna get neglected. And when I say thing, I mean anything, like video games, a romantic partner, family time. Like, I really can only do two things. Now, I had so much practice balancing school and work for so much of my life, even like as a teenager, that it kind of became natural to have two main things for me, right? Like, I remember being a kid and being in school, being a kid, like 10 or something like that, going to school. Um, no, I've never worked at a Little Caesars before, crap. But I remember being like 10 and going to school, and you come home, and then the rest of the time is yours to not even like, at least, again, this is me talking. I know a lot of 10-year-olds are taking like piano lessons and stuff like that. For me, when I got home from school when I was 10, if I didn't have homework, there was nothing I was doing. At least not anything of any importance. I was like hanging out with friends, playing video games, watching TV, eating things that I could find, jumping on a trampoline, running around town. There was no obligation. I wasn't building anything or doing anything productive outside of school. Because to me, in my life, school was the only thing that was the productive, mandatory activity I had. And so, I think I think once I had to work and do school, it was very difficult. It was very difficult, Jayla, because I was like, crap, wait, I have to do... Like, I remember even just the act of leaving school, because I didn't have time. Like, I got out of school at 2:30, and I started my job, or like 2:20 something, and I started my job at 3 o'clock every day. It wasn't enough time to even go home, so I would carry my work uniform with me in my backpack, and I would change at school in the bathroom, and then I would just walk from school to my job. Now, I remember the feeling of like, that feeling when you're so happy when you leave school or when you leave a shift, like it's like you're clocking out, or you hear the bell ring and you're just like, oh, cool, like it's over, it's behind me. I had to get used to this feeling of having something be behind me and in front of me at the same time, of like getting out of school and being like, oh, like relaxing, and then showing up at a job and being like, okay, now time for like somebody to yell at me for another like 7 to 8 hours, and it was very difficult. Um, it was very difficult, but um, that habit or having that type of lifestyle built up my propensity to be able to juggle a lot of things at the same time. Now, when we're talking about music, Jayla, music has occupied a very different amount of my life throughout my years in music making. For those of you that have been in the stream for a long time, I'm not gonna go over this. I mean, even for Jayla, just because it's a very long story. But Jayla, I've been in like 6 bands. I've been in like three other projects that weren't my own. I've written music for a bunch of other people. I've done a lot of things in music, but it hasn't always occupied the same amount of my life. Hello, Red, and good morning to you. Hasn't always occupied the same amount of my life. Sometimes it was like just a hobby. Sometimes it really was a thing where I had to show up like twice a week for rehearsals. Sometimes it was a thing where it was making money. Sometimes it was a thing where it wasn't. And honestly, music in my life has always been kind of like a fun side thing. It was never really a priority. It was a thing that gave me a lot of fulfillment, but it was not a priority. It wasn't my focus. It was a thing that I did when I had free time. It wasn't a thing that I needed free time away from doing, Jayla. However, recently in my life, when I quit my last job, which my last job was working for Honest Tea, the reason I quit that job is because I had built myself up to a crossroads where I was making money from music, but I couldn't make any more money from music. This is a very long answer to what was a pretty simple question, Jayla, but I hope you're still with me. I I got to a point where I was making money with music, but if I wanted to make more, I couldn't work at Honest Tea. It just would require more time with me in music in order to expand or heighten or maximize my income. And working at Honest Tea was one of those things where I couldn't make more money from that unless I quit music and devoted more time to that so I could move up in the company, like become a manager and stuff like that. And so I was like at this crossroads where I was like, okay, I can invest deeply in one of these things, and both things will end up bringing me more money if I invest harder in it. However, music was the thing that obviously I wanted to do more than working at Honest Tea, so I quit my job and I devoted that time and effort to music. It wasn't easy, and some of the people that I've heard my anecdotes and stories in the stream, it was pretty awful for a pretty long time, and it's still, it's there are good months and there are bad months, but I'm enjoying myself being more fulfilled now than I was. Now, I said all that to give you context because the question that you asked, which is how would I balance music with school, which I've done before, my answer is music and school never like when I was going to school, if I'm being honest with you, music was not a priority to me in my life. It was a priority in my heart. It was a thing that I loved and it gave me fulfillment, so I did spend time on it. But even while I was going to school, there was always this kind of thought in the back of my head that music was not going to pay my bills, but going to school potentially was. So when you're asking me how I, divvied up the time, I would say I spent more time on my schoolwork than I did on my music work when I was going to school. Now, I would be in the library, like on a laptop, like messing around and making music. But it wasn't the same. There wasn't the same amount of like devotion and seriousness and prioritizing on my music when I was in school. So, you going to school and doing music, Jayla, I would say it's really up to you. I know that's like a non-answer. That's like a really diplomatic answer. Goodbye, Deb. Thank you so much for being on the stream. And hello, Ja. It's really up to you, but for me personally, since you asked me the question, I will say for me personally, when approaching decisions, especially in the past 5 years, 5 years ago is when I moved to Los Angeles, so there was kind of like a difference in my ideology when I moved out here. In the past 5 years, I've always asked myself the question of like, what is going to matter to me in 5 years, and 2 years, and 10 years, and 25 years? It's a really hard question to answer because you're not there. It's all hypothetical. But if I can look at the back of my life, the back like my past, there's very very few consistencies. You know, there's like my family, they've kind of been, or my parents specifically have been like kind of around and involved. Music has been a big thing that's been around and involved. Um, and a lot of other things have kind of come and gone. Like school kind of came and went and came and went. Church kind of came and went and came and went. Um, an assortment of part-time jobs kind of came and went and came and went. But I feel like I can confidently say that if I live for the next 40 years, nothing happens to me, right? In 40 years, I'm pretty certain I'm still going to be making music. And so it has informed a lot of my life decisions in the present. Like if I have to choose between music and something else, sometimes I'm like, you know, I'm going to stick with music because that's the thing that I know is going to be here in, you know, a few years. I might not care about this other thing. I might not want this other thing. And so even in Los Angeles, I might not live here for very long. But wow, what a ramble! What a ramble. Anyways, I hope that answer helped you at all, Jayla. There's definitely enough time. Just figure out what your priorities are and allow things to become secondary. Not everything has to be a priority. For example, I love video games. You guys know I love video games. I talk about video games pretty much. I bring up the analogy of video games a lot. I have a PlayStation 4. Some of you see that I'm on that thing almost every day. But video games stopped being a priority in my life a while ago. And now, there used to be a time, Jayla, where I would go to GameStop and just look at the shelves. Like I would go in there with my homies and we would just look at the shelves and just like played it, beat it, have it, sold it, played it. I was just waiting for something new to come out. And when I saw something new, I was like, oh, what the heck is this? That used to be my life in gaming because it was a priority to me. Now, I have a literal list on my phone, like a notepad list of games to play, like games that I've been meaning to play, games that have been recommended to me, games that I've actually bought and still haven't like cracked open and played. Like I have a list of games now. That would have never happened to me back then because it was a priority. Now, gaming has become like a tertiary thing in my life. I still love it. I still devote quite a bit of time to it, and I still appreciate it and enjoy when people recommend me them. I get a lot of enjoyment out of it, but I'm okay with it not being a priority in my life. And Jayla, if you want music to be a priority in your life, then maybe, you know, bump it up and take the sacrifice that comes with. And if you don't want that to make that sacrifice, then just like be okay with it being like a secondary or tertiary thing and letting it progress, because it will progress, Jayla. You're not going to just not progress as a musician. It just might progress a little bit slower in a different way than if it were a priority, and that is okay. Woo! Okay, Jayla says, yeah, it does help. I wanted to go to university for music, but my parents insist that I get a backup first. Sounds like a parental thing. I'm thinking of going into music after I graduate. Word up, Jayla. Well, more power to you. I hope that it works out. Going into a creative field is a lot of sacrifice. I don't game as hard as I used to now that I produce. Word, Umbe. Absolutely. Now when I have free time, and if I'm sitting down playing a game that I've already beat, I'm like, I should be working on music. I'm wasting time. Alright, I'm gonna move to Utah. Can't wait. I am gonna move to Utah. I'm gonna move to a place called Logan, Utah. If you've never been to Logan, Utah, that is where I bought my first longboard. And I still have a friend out there. She doesn't do anything. She's not particularly very fun, but she does exist, and she is in Logan, Utah. If you're going to start school for music, I'd recommend audio engineering, says Unbe. It has practical application outside of music, and it helps with music making as a plus. Isidore is saying bye to Liana, who is leaving the stream. I didn't see, but now I see, and I bid you adieu, Liana. We also are closing up the stream anyway, so me and Liana are leaving. I want to go over news really quick, guys. I have a new song out called The View, and 2 EPs that I released in the latter half of last year. They're still the most recent bodies of work that I put out. Please go listen to them. One is called Quick Breath. It's more upbeat and funky. You might have seen somebody earlier in the stream mention my song Not On My Watch, which I'm playing right now. That's on the EP Quick Breath. I also have an EP that I mentioned called Ego Death, which is more ambient if you like want some like chilled out stuff. And not like lo-fi hip-hop chill. Think more like M83 chill, if you know who that is. All those things can be found on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon MP3, Tidal, Groove, Deezer, Pandora, Napster, and YouTube. Really quickly, while I'm playing that, which is my platform announcement. I do want to say, Umbe, earlier in the stream, you requested that I play Chaser. And I don't know how often you make it to the end of the stream, but in the end of the stream, I play the platforms, and those are the chords from Chaser, actually. Chaser, again, is... Yeah. And then, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon MP3, Tidal, Deezer, Pandora, Napster, and YouTube. While you're here on YouTube, I did make some new videos. New maybe to you if you haven't been on top of Quarantunes. I used to do a thing every Tuesday. I would release a new song accompanied by a video that I shot and edited in my room called Quarantunes. The first one is called Honeydew. The second one is called French Lavender, which I played for a moment in the stream. The third one is called Home Is You. The fourth one is called Dreams Come True. The fifth one is called Old Enough. The sixth one is called Money Talks. The seventh one is called Easy Go. I'm missing one. I got off on the numbers and the timing. I apologize for that. But yeah, go listen to those. There are 8 of them. This song is so sick, it changed my whole production process after listening to it. That is insane. That is insane, Unbe. Chaser? Why? If you don't mind me asking. That song was supposed to be a lot longer. The reason that this song is so short and the reason it sounds the way it does is because he told me that he wanted me to make a song that was only 1 minute long, and I tried my best. It's a little bit longer than a minute, clocked in a little bit longer, but yeah, I just made a fast, really quick, jamming together of chords. Yes. But I'm glad that you like that song, Umbe. I also like those chords a lot, which is why I play them in the end of every stream. As far as shows, merch, all that stuff, guys, if you're really looking for news on that, I don't know. You gotta look at the news, or actually better yet, don't look at the news. Just look at Twitter. Twitter is a more reliable news source right now than, network television news is. Which is kind of unfortunate. This song is called Hush Hour. I play it at the end of every stream. I wrote it when I was on tour last year. The year before last year? No, last year. Last year. Jesus. Time. I had old school video game sound I was looking for at the time, so I went in that direction. Oh. Interesting, okay. Thank you, Isidore, for being in the stream. Again, I wanted to talk a little bit about City of God, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But that was an amazing movie. Thank you so much for recommending that to me. I'm a little weird when people recommend me stuff because I feel like people don't know me well enough to recommend me stuff. But I don't know how you gathered that I would like that movie, but I loved that movie. That movie, I loved it. Oh, I loved that movie. Oh my god. I loved that movie. We got to talk about that movie in ways that I won't spoil it, maybe next stream. But, do you have a dog sound on your keyboard, says Cyber? Transcendental Tuesday is what Maddie wants us to have. A dog sound? I'm sure there's a dog sound on here. I'll find it quick. I mean, I feel like that's such a low-hanging fruit in this. Yeah, there it is. I mean, it doesn't sound like a dog. It doesn't really sound like a dog, but that is the dog sound for this keyboard. Thank you, everybody, for being respectful to me and polite to each other. I will get on with this Tuesday and go get some pizza. Please be safe, and hopefully I will see you guys back here tomorrow for Morning Medley number 154. Abba. Oh, hold on. Play Hush Hour first part with dog. Ugh, Christ. Oh, that sounds awful. Why do you want this? There's no harmonic information here, bro. There's no harmonic information. I could. Anyways, again, thank you. I'm sorry, Stuart. I'm sorry, Stuart Windsor. That's what you saw. Um, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Wednesday stream, 9 a.m. It happens at the same time every morning, guys. Please be on time. If you're not, it's okay. I'm here for apparently 2.5 hours every day now. All right, how about everybody?